Hi everyone, Ashley here and welcome to another speed card making video on my YouTube channel. Today I'm building this fun robot birthday party scene on a beach using a bunch of Lawn Fawn supplies as well as Distress Oxide ink blending in the background. So without further ado, let's get into it. So I'm starting by building the background with Distress Oxide inks, and to do this I'm using a few different Lawn Fawn stencils. This first one is just their hillside stencil, and I'm using the negative space that comes out of the bottom of it to create that beach hillside. I'm just blending on two different colors of Distress Oxide ink here. I used Antique Linen on the bottom and Tea Dye on the top, just to create that sort of two-toned effect. So the cool thing about Lawn Fawn stencils is that they have the positive and negative space on all of their stencils. So as you can see, I just moved that hillside stencil down and now it covers the beach and I can blend in the positive space. I also taped on another one of their hillside dyes on top there to create that wavy water pattern. And again, I'm just blending on two colors of Distress Oxide inks here. I used Peacock Feathers and Mermaid Lagoon to create that sort of two-toned watery look. So finally it's time to blend the sky. So just like below, I took that stencil and moved it down so now it covers the water and I can blend into the positive space, which is really, really cool. I kind of wanted it to look like a sunset sky, so I started with Ripe Persimmon, which is that bright orange color. I went into Scattered Straw for that yellow in between. And then at the top, I just added some tumbled glass for sort of the blue of the sky peeking through. So that is what the final blended look looks like. And I really love how stenciling gives you such a nice flat sort of space to work with, but you still get a lot of dimension, especially if you blend with different colors of Distress Oxide ink. So then I'm adding a little bit of splatter, and I knew that I wanted some blue splatter onto the water layer alone. So I went back to my stencils, which as you can see, they double as masks also. So I masked off the sky and I masked off the beach using that stencil. And I was able to splatter some blue watercolor paint straight onto that water without getting it onto the other layers. I also wanted some shimmer on the sky and the water. So I covered up the beach using that stencil and I was able to splatter on some liquid stardust from Lawn Fawn. Just dabbed out some of that liquidy shimmer onto my acrylic block and splattered it all over the card panel there, except for on the beach. So now it's time to stamp out the images that I'm going to be using on this card. So this card I actually made specifically for my sister. It's for her birthday, and I have a tradition of making her cards that involve robots. I don't know why it started or where it came from, but it's been going on for long enough now that I definitely don't want to break it anytime soon. So that's sort of where the inspiration for this card came from for me, and those three robots that you see at the bottom there, the one on the left is from Lawn Fawn's Charge Me Up stamp set, and the two on the right are from the Beep Boop birthday stamp set, which is one of my favorite stamp sets ever. I use it all the time and come back to it for this every year. And then the rest of the images are from some of their other stamp sets. You can see them all in the description box below. I'll label exactly which stamp sets everything comes from. But I just used an assortment of sort of summer-themed images because I knew I wanted it to be a beach party. So I stamped them all with Copic-friendly black ink onto some Copic-friendly paper. And again, if you want to know exactly which ink and paper I used, check those supplies down in the description below the video. Now I can go in with my Copic markers and color these images in. I'm going to keep the video sped up and play some music while I finish the coloring of these adorable images. If you want to watch the coloring, then feel free to sit back, relax, and enjoy. If you don't feel like watching the coloring, then of course, jump ahead in the video and I will catch you when it's done. So now that the coloring is done, it's time to put the rest of this card together. As you can see in the top there, I went ahead and cut out all of these images by hand, and I can then assemble them onto the card. I'm starting by gluing down that card panel that I'd inked up right onto a white card base. Off camera, I also stamped out the word happy from another Lawn Fawn stamp set onto some green paper and just cut it into a little banner. I also die cut the word birthday. This is actually from a Peeper Smooches die set, and I just cut it out of some gold glitter paper because I thought that would sort of accent the colors of this theme very well. I also cut out some palm trees using some wood grain paper as well as some glitter paper, again from a Lawn Fawn die set there. So I arranged all of the images onto the card exactly how I wanted them to be in the scene, and then I just went ahead and started adhering them down one by one. And I used a combination of liquid glue and foam squares to do this, so for some images I used foam, for some images I used liquid glue. And I like doing this because it creates sort of a nice level of detail in that with some images being up and some images being flat, it just sort of adds some dimension to the card. So I aligned those 3 robots just in the middle there with the palm trees off to the sides, and then I just took all these little accessory images and kind of spread them out on the beach like they had been there partying and these were sort of the things that they were using. So for a lot of this I use my craft tweezers to sort of place things where I think that I want them, and then I can just come in with my glue or a foam square and stick them down. I put that little cupcake right in the robot's hand on the left, and I realized I wasn't really happy with where that shell was down in the bottom corner. I felt like the center of the card was a little bit empty. So I just pulled that up and I stuck it down again right in the middle, and then I was able to take an adhesive eraser and just take that leftover adhesive off from where it used to be sticking, and it worked fine. I cut off the edges of the palm trees so they're not sticking out, and then I finished this card off with just a little scattering of gems that I just adhered down to the card with some liquid glue. So that's it, that is the card for today. As you can see, when I turn it in the light, you get all of that fun sparkle in the background from the splatter, as well as the sparkle in the glitter paper that I used for a lot of the elements, which is really fun. I really love how this card turned out, and I hope my sister likes it too, and I hope that you guys enjoyed watching. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you here next time. Thanks for watching. Bye!